Hi YouTube, it's Taiwan, and I'm just waiting to see if anybody's going to come in on the chat. Um, I guess I'll wait and start talking and see if I have some viewers come in. Huh. This is my first time actually getting on a chat live. Oh, I guess since I tested it on my phone. So yeah, okay. I'm waiting to see if anybody comes in. Let's see. And the hope was that as long as I came on the screen, that I might have some more people to come in and stay. How are you doing? Just send me a hello. You know what? While I'm waiting on everybody to come in, this is what I'll do. I'll go in and get to my Thank You Thursday stuff, but I'll let you know what I want to talk about today. And I would like to discuss, and you can tell me what you want to talk about too. Put it in the chat. Um, First, I have to give a thank you to my new viewers. And then today I want to talk about Kevin Spacey and these allegations against him, and Jazzy Roe, the girl that has been kind of trending on social media in general because of what happened at her school, and Wendy Williams passing out on her set for Halloween in her costume, and Tyrese crying on social media, kind of like he has been for the last several weeks or months even. And the whole thing about Papa John's coming out basically saying that their sales are slow because of the NFL protest. And then we had Pizza Hut basically responding and saying, we're doing fine. And even though it didn't happen this week, I wanted to talk about it when it happened, but I didn't come on live. And so I want to talk about Hazel and her colorist statements that she made. It's old news, but colorism isn't, so I'd like to talk about it. And Kathy Griffin, and I guess the excuses that she's still trying to make for herself with the tasteless or distasteful thing that she did. And I want to talk about USA Network and their new show, Damnation. And that's coming, I think it's finally starting next week. And I want to talk about Cardi B if y'all want to talk about it. But if y'all want to talk about it, I'm going to kind of need you to lead that conversation. And want to get a little bit into the New York City stripper strike. Want to talk a little bit about Kendu Isaacs, Mary J. Blige's ex-husband, and asking for some more money. And also, I want to know if y'all want to talk any reality TV talk together. So while I'm waiting on everybody to come in, I want to go on and thank my new subscribers who just have come on within the last, I would probably say 2 to 3 weeks. The last time I did a Thank You Thursday video, which I didn't look to see how long ago it was. It's either been 2 or 3 weeks now. I was at 196 subscribers, and today I'm at 229. And as long as you uh, let me know, like as long as your subscriptions are public, then I can see when you subscribe to my channel, so I can give you a shout out. Usually it lets me see. Sometimes I get an email notification, and sometimes you'll show up just on my list of subscribers, but I know that everybody doesn't. So if you want a shout out, just let me know, put it in the comments, and I'll give you a shout out. But for now, I want to thank Shania Williams and Backwood Boondock Brew View and Geeky Goodies, China Berry 420, and Tosh Time. Y'all go check her out. She does a lot of cooking on her channel. And I still can't forget the recipe that she did for collard greens. She made them with turnips, which was something I'd never seen before. So go and check her out, Tosh Time. And Melissa Butler and Guts and Glory, thank you. And Up in the House Records TV, thank you. Smash 10, West Side Purple, I think that's how you pronounce it, even though you put threes where I think the E's are supposed to go. And Smash 510, I already said that. Chasm of Misery, and Chuck Berry 75, Bobby Sprinkle, thank you. WKZCR Productions, thank you for subscribing. And Simply Beautiful on a Budget. Thank you for subscribing. She has a beauty channel, ladies. If you all are into beauty, go and check her out. She's basically doing beauty tips on a budget. And Charlie, the Rookie Prepper, thank you for subscribing. And Coffee Queen 105, who I met, Bailey, I think the last name is Bailey. Coffee Queen 105, thank you for subscribing. Hi, viewer, whoever you are, just say hello and what you want to talk about. Have a lot of things on the schedule for today. Right now, just giving a shout out to the people who subscribe to my channel. But I do want to get into talking about Kevin Spacey and the allegations against him, and Jazzy Roe and what happened with her, the girl who's been trending on social media. And I want to talk about Wendy Williams passing out in her Halloween costume on her set. And I want to talk about Tyrese crying on Instagram like he's been doing for the past several weeks. Hi, viewers. Give me a hello and let me know what's going on. Let me know what y'all want to talk about. And let's see, what else? Papa John's and Pizza Hut. We'll get into that too. But let me finish thanking my subscribers. I just have a few more to go. Madison Page Woods, thank you. And KDZ810. Golden Gamer Gaming, so thank you for subscribing. And Warpack Gardeners and Michael Warriex, I think is the name. So let me look on the chat first and see if anybody's talking and what y'all want to talk about, because I don't want to just make it about me. Okay, let me get it going and see. Ooh, I don't mean to say that. Okay, so it looks like I'm the first one on the chat. Okay, and if you are chatting, because this is my first time actually doing a live on my computer where I am on the screen, because usually I'm just blacked out and I'm watching the screen as y'all go. Hey, Rido Boy 94, glad I caught your chat. Always fun. Thank you. So just let me know what you want to talk about, and I'm going to keep on going. So the first thing I want to go on and discuss is Kevin Spacey and these allegations that have been coming out against him. So, of course, after all of those A-list actresses came out and accused Harvey Weinstein of sexual assault, of sexual misconduct, of, different types of sexual allegations. I don't know, rape. I think that rape even. The floodgates just open, and other directors have been, some guy had 38 women come out and accuse him at one time. A lot of other actors are kind of being called out. I think that y'all saw, like, when Ben Affleck tried to come and defend the women, then people were like, hey, Ben Affleck, what about when you grabbed that girl's breast on TRL? And then somebody had this old video of him resurface at some film festival where this lady was supposed to be interviewing him. He has her sitting on his lap and he's just talking about how good her breasts look, or her titties, in his words, look. So anyway, Kevin Spacey, an actor named Anthony Rapp came out, and I don't know who Anthony Rapp is. I think that he's in one of those like space related movies. If you know who he is, put it in the chat or put it in the comments after this video goes up. But anyway, he came out and said that Kevin Spacey, what was the word? He came on to him sexually when he was 14. Kevin Spacey was 26 at the time, and I believe that they were both working on Broadway. I think that the actor who accused Kevin Spacey was working on Rent, and I think that maybe Kevin Spacey was working on another Broadway production, but he had a party after, the show's wrapped up and invited some people over. Among the guests was Anthony Rapp. And Anthony said that he was sitting down kind of chatting with one of his friends, and Kevin Spacey came and picked him up. He said the way that a husband picks up his bride, like on their wedding day, to carry her over the threshold. And Kevin Spacey carried him into his bedroom and laid him on his bed and got on top of him. And he just said that it was very clear that he wanted to have sex with me. And so, let's see, I'm sad that House of Cards has been pulled, but I couldn't watch it anymore with that fool on it. You know what? I was sad too that the show got pulled. I'm glad that Netflix did something about it. I'll say that. I think it's responsible of them to go on and take action and not just say, well, we'll have to see and wait what happens. The only thing that I'm sad about, and I've never watched House of Cards. I've heard that it's really good. I've never watched it, but the only thing that I'm sad about is that all of those actors and crew members, like now they're going to be out of money just because Kevin Spacey, because of something that he did. So I don't think that it's fair to them. But at the same time, I'm glad that that Netflix went on and pulled it. I'm glad that they did something. I'd rather them overreact than not react at all. You said, I hope he gets charged with something. I wonder, right up 194, if he is going to get charged with anything, because I don't know if there's a statute of limitations on something like this. And apparently that did happen a while ago. And I don't know if even the people who are coming out, his accusers, if they're trying to make anything happen in the court system. But it would be nice to actually see somebody have to go behind bars. Like you're seeing, like, for instance, Harvey Weinstein, the Academy says they're throwing him out of the Academy and they're taking his awards away. But is something going to happen criminally to anybody who's been charged with any of this stuff? That's kind of what I'm waiting to find out too. So I would like to see some criminal charges too. And so, but the thing with Kevin Spacey, Anthony Rapp just kind of, I guess he kind of just came out on social media with these accusations. And hi, viewer, whoever is in here, these accusations. And then Kevin Spacey does this, call it an apology. He apologizes, but it's like one of those half-ass apologies. And he's saying, that he doesn't remember it. And, it was over 30 years ago, but he's sure that, if it happened, he must have been drunk. And people who have known me for many years know that I've had sexual relationships with both men and women, and I'm gay. Basically, I'm living my life now as a gay man. I don't know what his being gay had to do with him being a child molester. So it was just a really weird thing. If I were a victim, I think that I would not be able to really accept that as an apology, because it kind of wasn't. And it's like, are you using being gay as an excuse to go and molest children? Like, that's not cool. And I didn't appreciate the way that he responded to that. It was just very weird. And it just sounds like he's making excuses. And my thing is, you said it's 30 years ago, Kevin Spacey. You remember that. And, well, you don't necessarily remember that, but you know the age of this guy and when he said it happened. So 30 years ago, you don't remember what happened, but you do remember that you were drunk that night. Like, I'm sorry. I just can't believe what he's saying. Yeah, he just threw gay people under the bus. And so it's so funny because normally it seems like gay people or the whole LGBTQ community is really glad and probably even feels empowered and proud when a celebrity or someone of notoriety comes out and says that, announces that they're gay. But this time they're like, hey, whoa, like, don't put that on us, like that has nothing to do with us. So it was just weird. And I didn't appreciate it. I didn't like how he did it. So that's Kevin Spacey. But if you have any, and then what I did not want to hear was the accusation that came against an actor who I like, and that's Jeremy Piven, an actress who was on some show that he used to be on. And I only know Jeremy Piven from Mr. Selfridge. I know that he's like a movie actor and a TV actor, but I fell in love with his character on Mr. Selfridge. I love a good British show. So that's what that's how I fell in love with him. But anyway, some actress who was in another show of his said, yeah, Jeremy Piven, do you remember about you grabbing my boobies when we were in your trailer? And apparently she tried to leave, and then he grabbed her ass and said something about, don't we make a good looking couple or something? So it's end of this, these sexual allegations coming out against all these Hollywood people anytime soon. Once Harvey Weinstein's allegations came out, it's like more and more people are coming out of the woodworks, and everybody's just telling their story, you know. And it's not like these people are necessarily looking for money. Most of them are not looking for fame, because a lot of the people who are making the accusations are already famous. So I kind of tend to believe everybody's story. Hey, tell me what you want to talk about. I see you in here. Just got a lot of things on the schedule, so just tell me what you want to talk about. So that's all, I guess, on the Hollywood sex allegations right now. Sex abuse allegations, sexual misconduct allegations, rape, whatever. Let's move on to the next topic. Jazzy Roe, young girl who I saw trending like the hashtag, I think, justice for Jazzy. And so I just kind of looked at the story. I didn't know anything about it. Turns out that she is a Jamaican student at the University of Hartford in Connecticut. And she had a roommate. She's a Black girl, Jazzy Roe. And I don't know what her real name is. I don't remember what her real name is, but she's going by Jazzy Roe, I guess, on social media. And her roommate was a white girl who did not like her, clearly, for whatever reason. Might have been racially motivated, maybe not. But Jazzy had been in class and had been getting sick. And, you know, like her throat was hurting. She wasn't able to barely talk above a whisper. So she's been going to these doctors and, you know, trying to see what's going on with her and not really able to figure anything out. And so finally, I guess she just thought that maybe the atmosphere in the room wasn't good. So she kind of picked up her things and moved out of her dorm. And immediately as she moves, her roommate, whose name is Brianna Brochu, I think it's the way her name is pronounced. She's on her phone, and I think that Jazzy thought that maybe she was texting somebody, but the RA's roommate, and you might want to, you know, check this out. And so her roommate basically went on Twitter, and the Jamaican Barbie is finally gone now. She'd been like harassing her under the radar the whole time that they were living together, and she was doing some of the most disgusting things I'd ever heard of. It was actually grossing me out just to read what she did. The girl, Jazzy, had coconut oil, and the roommate Brianna was spitting in her coconut oil. She said that she was putting mold in her lotion, like mold from clam dip in her lotions, putting used tampons and taking them and like rubbing them over her backpack, over Jazzy's backpack. And then I think probably the worst thing, and all of it is horrible, but probably the worst thing that she said that she was doing was taking her toothbrush and basically putting it where the sun don't shine. Now, she might have said unspeakable places. She said some kind of phrase just that led me to believe she's brushed either up her ass or in her vagina, maybe even in the toilet. I don't know. But anyway, this girl was just suffering. And but once Jazzy found out what happened, she went to the school to tell them, and the school basically put a gag order on Jazzy, told her not to say anything about it. Let me see. Yeah, the Jazzy Roe situation is crazy. All I want to know is, was it racism, or is this girl just a crazy bee? Exactly. That's what I want to know. I don't want to assume that she's just being racist. That's certainly, you know, kind of an easy conclusion to come to because she is Black and her roommate is. But I don't know that for sure, and I haven't heard. I mean, she called her Jamaican Barbie, but to call her Jamaican is not necessarily a racial term. If she had said the N-word is gone or something like that, I probably would have immediately jumped to, yeah, this is a racial thing. She might just be a nasty little bitch and would have done this to anybody. She would have done the same thing to a white roommate. I don't know. So I don't want to just jump to those conclusions, but I would like to know, like you said, right of 194 is this, was it racially motivated? I don't know. But yeah, so Jazzy reported it to her school, and the school basically told her to be quiet about it. But I guess she just knew, okay, this isn't right. So she took to, maybe it was her Instagram or her Facebook Live, and made a video about it, saying what happened. And by the time I caught wind of it, there were already students on her campus who were basically protesting on her behalf, justice for Jazzy. And I guess that's where the hashtag came from. They were saying, that this shouldn't be happening. And so once the story got exposed, then the school finally acted, which is what they should have done in the first place. It's easy to assume that, but I think we need proof of that before we say that for sure. Yeah, exactly. Especially with the racial climate in this country, and you don't want to add fuel to a fire that's not necessarily there. So I want to be sure. I don't want to just come and say it was racially motivated. Has a thought crossed my mind? Yes, to be honest, but I'm not going to just put that out there because I don't know that. So yeah, once the word finally got out, then the school did finally act, and they went on and kicked the girl out. They kicked Brianna out of school. And then criminal actions were taken. So finally, somebody gets charged with something. I've heard mixed stories at first. I have heard that she was out on a $1,000 bail, and that the charges, they were like things I hadn't heard of, and they kind of sounded like misdemeanors. But now I'm hearing that she's been charged with a hate crime. So I don't know. And if she has been charged with a hate crime, then that kind of tells me that maybe something else has been leading me to believe that maybe this stuff was racially motivated. I don't know. But that's all that I really know about that. Next, let's see. Oh, hold on. Sadly, some people seem like they want it to be racist, but I really hope it's not, especially with how things are right now. Yeah, I can understand exactly where you're coming from. I don't want for it to be a racist thing, but I can't be naive and say that I don't think that it possibly is, because there's definitely that possibility. And why even bring her country into it? If she's a Barbie, why not just say, the Barbie's gone finally or whatever? But again, if she is Jamaican, so that's not a racist term to call her Jamaican. It's not a racist thing to call her a Barbie. Maybe she didn't like her because her roommate was prettier than her. Maybe she was just jealous of her. She, like I said, she might have done it to a pretty blue-eyed, blonde-haired white girl too. So I jump to that conclusion, and I don't want to, I don't want to start race things where there are none, because it's enough racial things going on that you don't have to make up anything in this world. We don't. Yeah, exactly. And if that's true, because I'm just hearing so many things, kind of not being in the same town where it happened. You just get your news off of social media. And so I don't know if what I'm hearing is from a credible source or whatever. So yeah, I don't know. So on to Miss Wendy Williams passing out for Halloween on the set of her show. Honestly, I can say that I don't watch the Wendy Williams show, so let me get that out. I saw her trending on Twitter, so I was like, well, let me see what's going on. And then the first thing that I saw was the gift that everybody made. And I'm like, okay, what is this? And I was kind of just thinking that she did some kind of Halloween prank in her studio. But then I was reading other messages, and I saw like a message from Queen Latifah saying that she hoped that Wendy was okay. And I'm like, on. And then so somebody posted about a 2-minute clip from the show. And it was showing her standing at her podium reading, and she was talking about the Halloween contest. Now, she was dressed as the Statue of Liberty, Lady Liberty, whatever you want to call it, in a green dress, a green wig on, and her little, crown thing. and you see her looking into the camera as she's trying to read, and I think that she said something like, and our next, and I think that she said Garess, or it sounded like Garess or Caress, but she probably meant to say guest. It was just like her words weren't coming out right. It kind of looked like she was having a mini stroke. But then you see like one eye just get really, really big, and she's trying to grab the podium, and then you just see her like hanging on to her like little headpiece or her wig, and then you just see her plop down on the floor. And then you see her, like I heard a couple of people laugh in the audience because I do think that they thought it was a prank, but then you see her stage hands kind of run in and try to help her up, and then you just hear the audience react like, oh, you know, so it's like that, oh, okay, it's, you know, let's see, hold up. You said, Ryan Upway 94 says, LOL, when I first watched this, I thought she was acting, but now I think it might be real. Yeah, I thought it was an act until I saw everybody run in and like try to help her. And I just bet that those people in the audience, like, because it was like it's like you hear this man's voice just bust out laughing, and he probably felt so horrible once they realized, you know, that, hey, this isn't a joke. And so now the funny thing is, well, it's not actually funny, but I could relate to what I was looking at when I saw that, because when I was very young in my preteens, I used to have spells in the summer where I would pass out, and what she was doing reminded me of what it felt like I was doing when I would have that to happen to me. And it wasn't necessarily because I was overheated, but it always only happened in the summertime. And the way that it would come on would be that like let's say this is my eyeball. From here, it would just start going black to the edge until like just in the very center, I could see something. And so I would feel myself like opening my eyes really big because I'm trying to see as much as I can, because I know that pretty soon I'm not going to be able to see. And then it would be accompanied by me just plopping down on the ground and then waking up a few minutes later in some awkward position. It, you know, wasn't anything that was life-threatening or anything, but it was scary, you know, to me. And so I kind of felt like I could relate to her in that moment. But it was still funny as hell because I am just not a Wendy Williams fan. I don't like her. Not that I want anything bad to happen to her. She got up, you know, and she said she came back like a champ or whatever. So I don't feel bad that I got a good laugh out of that. And I did. I laughed so hard. I did. And so, but yeah, she got up. And so I wonder if she's going through things now because, you know, Wendy Williams, she's been a gossip hog for years, you know, gossip hound or whatever you want to call it, you know, years on the radio before she ever got on TV. And so many people have just felt like she's been a little too invasive with her gossip news. I mean, everybody does a little gossip talk, a little celebrity news or whatever, but Wendy, she kind of just seems to cut to the core. She does not care. It's like nothing is off limits for her. Brandon Boy says, I don't really like her. She's trashy to me. Yeah, she's trashy to me too. And I actually used to enjoy watching her, you know, do her little, whatever the first segment of her show was when she would do celebrity gossip. I used to like watching that, but it's been years since I've watched Wendy Williams do anything on television. And yeah, I really didn't appreciate the care that she did not put into that Aaliyah movie. I never saw it, but I saw the memes from the movie, and just from seeing how she casted that thing, she didn't have any concern about it. You know, I remember her saying that she was going to pick it up and she was going to get the story right. And I'm like, you know, all that she really wanted to get into with the Aaliyah story, in my opinion, was to talk about her relationship with R. Kelly. I don't think that she wanted to do anything to honor this girl's life. And it just came out trashy, just like Wendy Williams is. It came out, all of the comments that I saw and the feedback that I saw are what I would have expected from a Wendy Williams production, basically. So that, and but I kind of feel like because she's been on people for so long, and because she's been digging into people so deeply for so many years, and people are, like, some people are fed up and have had enough. 50 Cent just recently was kind of going back and forth at her, and T.I., said his little words about her after that picture of her looking horrid in that bikini came out, and I kind of feel like things are kind of starting to get to her, because she's always been that girl who, well, I don't care what people say about me, I'm not going to comment back. But if you notice here lately, she's got things to say now when people have something to say about her. And I don't know if it's just a change in her age, or maybe because of what's going on with her husband, and everybody seeing basically him being exposed as a bona fide cheater, and having his mistress set up in a really beautiful house that's only 9 miles away from the house that she shares with her husband. Maybe things are getting to her, and I wonder, it could be, maybe she's getting menopausal, and maybe she was just overheated. I kind of wonder, is she dibbling and dabbling back into the drugs? I wonder, because maybe she kind of needs an escape now. Like, it might just be too much, too many eyes on her, at this point. So just kind of my thoughts on that. I don't know. I truly, truly don't know, but hey, whatever. I just know that I was laughing my ass off on Twitter when I saw it. They made that gif of her falling like immediately, and I'm just like, wow, these people on Twitter, they are on that stuff like it's a job. And I just wonder, is she on that stuff again? Hopefully she's not, but I can't help but wonder. Now, Tyrese. I don't like Tyrese. And I have not been liking anything that I've been seeing from Tyrese on social media in quite some time. Tyrese, I remember people like kept telling me to look at Tyrese, and this was probably maybe 3 years ago or so. Look at Tyrese because he's so motivational, he's so inspirational, and I typically don't really get into people who are like that. I kind of think a lot of the times that it's BS. Let's see. I see you're gonna talk about Tyrese. Can't wait for this. Well, it's just my thoughts about it, and of course, I want to know what you think about it too. Anybody who's watching, just feel free to comment. But okay, so at first it was the whole, he's on the motivational, inspirational thing. He's talking about, motivating you for building personal wealth, and yada, yada. And then it became like he was doing a lot of relationship advice type things, and, preaching about Black love and all this stuff. And then like, okay. And not that I'm for love. If you love, and if you're happy in a relationship, then I think that's great. My ex-husband is a Black man, and so when I was with a Black man, yeah, I was about Black love. Not that I had any problem with any other kind of love. And now that my fiance is a white man, I'm still not against Black love. I'm just not in a Black love situation. But I don't go preaching about what type of love people should be in. And so it's just funny to me to see Tyrese preaching all this Black love business and then to not marry a Black woman, even though he got on Instagram with their wedding picture together and called her his Black queen. She might have like this much Black in her. I can't remember what her parents' origins are. I think maybe her mom is like half Jamaican, and she's like something like, some kind of from Central or South America, and maybe some other Latin island or something. But she's not a Black woman. And even she herself got on Twitter to correct him, or Instagram to correct him, to say that, no, I'm not a Black woman, And so it's just weird with Tyrese. And then there's always been accusations with the mother of his child. And I don't know if he was married to that woman before. I don't know if that's an ex-wife or just a mother of his child. But she's always said that he was physically violent with her. And so, anyway, it was like slightly before Tyrese got married to his, I'm going to say multiracial wife. He was dissing Black women so much. Let me see, what are you saying? 25% Black in her. Yeah, not much. That's not a whole lot. But he had a lot of disparaging things to say about Black women, as do what I'm noticing many Black male entertainers, and particularly many dark-skinned Black male entertainers. It seems like it's a hobby for them to get on any social media platform or even TV and radio and just go and trash Black women. And so, of course, once Tyrese got into that as a hobby, I was truly, truly done. And I wasn't like the biggest Tyrese fan to begin with. I thought he was a little funny looking dude on that Coca-Cola commercial. I've never really paid attention to many of his movies. I've never seen Baby Boy. I've seen one Fast and Furious movie, and that's only because my fiance wanted to see it. It's not like I was running to the theater to go see Tyrese or even that movie in general. But this clown, okay, well, I don't even know where to start. We could spend an hour just talking on Tyrese. But let me start with his family. His daughter. Okay, so a while ago, there were some accusations by the mother of his child that Tyrese was hitting his daughter too hard, physically abusing her. And so right now he's not able to see her. They're in court behind whatever's going on with her. And I think that there's even a restraining order against Tyrese, so he's not able to have his daughter in his custody right now. Oh yeah, him flying that plane over his daughter's school was a horrible idea. Exactly. Yes, that's what I want to get to too. So she, the mother, has it to where he can't see her right now. So Tyrese takes it upon himself. I believe that in addition, boy, to him flying the plane over her school, he also had some gifts sent to the for her. And just that, I think that like the banner on the plane said "Daddy loves you" or something like that, whatever. And so, and I'm guessing that was a violation of the restraining order. If nothing else, it might be considered like tampering with the witness or something, because this little girl still gotta tell the court like what you did, how you hit her, because the allegation was that he hit her so hard that she couldn't sit down. And so, of course, she's a little girl. She's 9 or 10 years old, however old she is. If she sees some gifts or sees some kind of love and affection from her dad, then she might not say the things that she was going to say originally, whether, whatever happened. Well, I don't want to say that Daddy, with me if he's, sending me, whatever kind of gifts I want, whatever it is. I don't know what little 9-year-old girls are into right now, so I can't even think of something to say. So anyway, there's that. And then, he has his wife, but it's like this man is breaking down on social media in front of us every day. And I'm like, okay, Tyrese, why don't you and your beautiful Black queen go handle whatever your situation is? And why don't you get off of social media with these long ass posts, these, dissertations every week, about something that none of us need to know about, that we really don't care about, and that really isn't your business, because it seems like most of his social media posts here lately are about The Rock and are directed to The Rock. Let me see what you're saying. I really don't understand why Black men talk so bad about Black women. As a man, I would never blame women for my failures. I never seen a white man say that stuff about white women. at least not in public. You know what? You have a point. And let me say, I honestly think right away that all men of all races have complaints about their women, and they probably talk about it in private. It's one of the things that people call kitchen table talk, or maybe you and your boys are going to talk about it in the locker room at the gym, or hanging out at the basketball court or whatever. You'll probably say, "Hey, my wife is giving me a headache or whatever," but and I know, because women are hard to deal with, and we think men are hard to deal with. So yeah, we're gonna have those discussions, and we're gonna say, he's getting on my nerves. But just because, like, when I was married to a black man, my thing is, this Negro is getting on my nerves. It was never all black men are terrible. So I need to go and get on social media and say, y'all don't need to be fooling with these Negroes anymore. No, that was never the way I dealt with anything. And same as dealing with Matt. Me and him have our issues sometimes, but that doesn't mean I'm going to say, oh, all these white men are sorry. Girls, y'all need to just leave these white men alone, and get on social media and talk about it like that. No. My thing is, I know that white men complain about white women at some point, and especially feminists, as a group. But they have issues with their men. With white men have issues with their women, on a singular basis. But I don't see white men going out on, making videos on YouTube about why men shouldn't date white women. The way that you see black men, if you type in that as a search, you're gonna see an endless supply of videos to look at from black men on what is wrong with black women, why you shouldn't date black women. Oh my gosh. And so, yeah, but I don't see any other group of men. I don't see Asian men doing it. I don't see Latin men doing it. I don't see any other group of men other than black. And let me clear this up. It's not all black men. It's, I think, a significant minority of black men who are just very loud and very visible, who like to get on social media or TV or radio and do that kind of thing. Mirror Cop Films. I just tuned in. Have you talked about Spacey yet? I did, but I can go back to it. How are you doing? Mirror Cop Films in, where are you, in Ireland? But yeah, I talked about Spacey. Let's wrap up Tyrese, and we can go back to Spacey for a little bit. But so Tyrese, he has his beautiful black queen. Why doesn't he just, or why doesn't somebody, and maybe people are trying to tell him, hey, Tyrese, put your phone down, man. Get off of social media. Like, you look like a fool. If he has someone at home who truly loves and cares about him, they should be telling him, say, bro, this is a bad look, man. Like, you look like a bitch out here. Why don't you stop doing that? Let's see. Even less chance of an Asian man doing that. They're very loyal to their women as their women are loyal to them. Yeah, I do agree. Asians really do seem to stick together. Yes, Ireland, how are you? I'm doing great. Okay, glad that I got that right. Because I always, with me and Matt Miracop, I get Ireland and Scotland confused because he wants to go visit both places just as badly. So anyway, but yeah, I'm doing great. So, Mr. Tyrese, here lately, it seems like most of his social media talk is about The Rock, and he's so jealous of The Rock getting his own spinoff for the Fast and the Furious franchise, and he's like constantly saying that he shouldn't have done that, and we're family, we stick together. And so now it's going to be another 2 years before we can make another Fast and Fury movie. Fast family sticks together. And I'm just like, my G, I don't know who told you that the Fast and the Furious cast was a family. Y'all are co-workers, but y'all are not a family. And I don't know like who, somebody around there was going around saying that, but Tyrese, they're your coworkers, And I don't see why you would think you have the right to tell The Rock to stop his money because nobody's asking your ass to come and do any, movies or TV shows or come and sing for them anymore or whatever, which, okay, hold up. Quickly, there was some Black women's celebration, maybe it was like Essence Awards or something, and they invited Tyrese to come and sing for that shit. I was so disgusted. I'm like, have y'all been watching this man on social media for the last 2 years? Who would invite him to any place where Black women are being honored or recognized? I just didn't understand that. So anyway, that's why I don't fool with a whole lot of these Black publications and Black run networks or whatever. It's such a joke. So anyway, it just feels like nobody has the back of Black women, like really, not even Black women. Sometimes I look at the choices, some of the choices that we make, we just back up anybody. Let's see. And the mother of his daughter will use the video in court, and it's not a good thing for him or any other man to have this be how we are looked at. I agree. Yeah. Tyrese is making a damn fool of himself right now. He really needs to quit. If he has any friends, his friends would tell him, man, this is a horrible look. And so he's been telling The Rock, that he's I think that he might have even gone as far as to call him a bitch and say that, that was like just a bitch ass move for you to pull to, go and do your own movie. It's like, okay, do you really think that for a second that this man is going to stop feeding his family just because nobody's interested in you, Tyrese? Like, come on. And the thing about that, I don't know if y'all know, but Tyrese used to be in a singing group. Of course, he was a solo artist, but it was a 3-person group. I think they called themselves TGT. It was Tyrese, and the G was Genuine, and the other T was a singer named Tank. All R&B singers, they came together to do like a little group. And the reason that they broke up is because everybody said that Tyrese, his ego was colossal and they couldn't work with him. In Tyrese's mind, everybody was at their shows to see him. They want to see Tyrese. They're not worried about the group. They're not worried about you, Genuine, or you, Tank. They want to see the Tyrese show. And so that's what broke up the group. And so essentially he's criticizing The Rock for doing the same thing that everybody said that Tyrese has been proven to do. The Rock didn't say that he's quitting the franchise. He's going to go and make his little money doing his own movie, and then he'll come back and do this a couple of years later. It's like, Tyrese, are you so broke? As much as you love to brag about being rich and posing yourself on a Forbes magazine cover, are you so broke that you can't wait a couple of years to make another Fast and Furious movie? What is going to be like Fast and Furious 300? Like, it's been so many Fast and Furious movies. That's kind of what surprises me, is that people want to see him at all anyway. But wait for this man to make his, and then, he went on threatening the franchise. Well, if The Rock is going to be in the Fast and Furious, then I'm out. Tyrese, do you think that anybody in Hollywood is going to choose you over The Rock? The Rock is huge right now. I'm sorry. It's just his time, and Tyrese, it's not your time. If you, and you're, from what I understand, he's just kind of like a supporting cast member of this franchise. If I'm wrong, correct me, but he's not like one of the biggest stars. And I can't with this guy. So hold on, let's see. I see a lot of fake love for Black women, and as hip hop fan, it's sad to see rappers and singers speak down on their own women. I hardly even see darker skinned women in hip hop videos anymore. Yeah, that's very true. Tyrese's sister is Sasha, right? Sasha? Wait, who is Sasha? Tell me what you're talking about, Miracle. And before it still wasn't much. Yeah, I'm going to address that too very shortly. Okay, you'll take me to my next topic with that comment, right, oh boy. He's been bitching about basically another grown-ass man making his money and basically crying because he won't stop because I told him to stop and he's still gonna go make his money without me. Like, that's how you look, Tyrese. You look like a damn fool. And so his last breakdown, I mean, like, oh wait, before I get there, there is a video of Tyrese. He was singing somewhere. Somebody obliged this Negro and let him come sing on a stage somewhere just last week. And he was on the stage in between songs talking about how much he missed his daughter, and and he just wanted to dedicate this song to his daughter. And then he started singing Marvin Gaye's "Let's Get It On." He was crying about how much he missed his daughter, and then goes into, "I've been really trying, baby." And I'm like, wait a minute. I'm listening. I'm like, that's "Let's Get It On." Why are you singing "Let's Get It On" to your 10-year-old daughter? Now, I don't know how old she is, 9, 10 years old, whatever. I don't care how old she is. I don't care if she's 40 years old. Why are you singing "Let's Get It On" to your daughter, Tyrese? Something's really, really wrong with him. And I feel like we're watching this Negro unravel before our very eyes. I really feel like that. Because the latest post, hold on, let me get to your comments. It was a joke. You don't watch The Walking Dead. Oh no, I don't watch The Walking Dead. So there's so many shows I don't watch, so I don't get a lot of TV and movie references. But okay, Tyrese's last rant, or it was a breakdown. It looked like he was having a mental breakdown. He's literally crying and, "Y'all don't know how I miss my daughter. Y'all don't know what I'm going through. Y'all don't," and just like real tears. And I'm sorry, but I don't have it in my heart to feel sorry for him. I do believe that, yes, he's going through some kind of mental situation. And I saw a lot of Black men saying that, hey, just last week, y'all were talking about Black men's mental health, and now everybody's on here laughing at Tyrese. Black men, if y'all want to defend him, defend him. And there were still a lot of Black women defending him too. If y'all want to defend him, defend him. I won't. Tyrese doesn't have a kind thing to say about Black women. I don't want to see anybody fall apart mentally. I hate that for him, but I really don't care. He has his beautiful Black queen. He needs to get with her, or she needs to pull him off of the internet if he'll even listen to her, and go and get him some help somewhere. I don't want to see anything bad happen to him. I don't want to see him kill himself. I don't want to see him whatever. I don't want to see him hurt anybody else. But he needs some help. He needs some real deal mental help. And I'm just not the one to care. I'm sorry. I don't care. I don't care. Personally, I don't want to see anything bad happen to him, but I'm not the one who's going to be posting, pray for Tyrese. I'm not, whatever, he's going through something, and it's real and it's showing, but I feel like he's brought it on himself about it. And The Rock seems like a really good dude. Let's see. The Rock has done so much for wrestling and film, and he's a legend. He's a legend in both at this point. And Tyrese simply can't compete. That could be Tyrese's problem too. There's even talk of The Rock getting into politics. I don't want to see The Rock get into politics. But yeah, he's an excellent actor. And he was really, he helped to elevate, the profile of wrestling. I do think. I love him. And I know that my fiance, Matt loves him some Rock, And so yeah, we're fans. But I was going to go in and talk about and then okay, but hold up, y'all. Before I leave Tyrese, this dude was just on Instagram, I think last week or the week before, talking about how he was getting ready to come out with a hip hop album. I don't know how well hip hop fans who love overly masculine Black men, I don't know how they're going to receive a rap album coming from this crying ass Negro. Like, are they going to take you seriously now? And he came out saying that after he dissed Young Jock, on a post, a very old picture of Young Jock. Now, Young Jock had been wearing a somewhat feminine hairstyle, but someone like basically it was a fake. They put a very extra feminine hairstyle on Young Jock, and it was just a joke. But Tyrese pulls up this old picture of Young Jock, and it was like, hey man, look what's happened to the hip hop game, like what was Snoop and Dre and Pac say about some shit, like, basically just saying that this stuff is too sissy for hip hop, but I'm gonna come out with a real hip hop album, and it's gonna be like, what he said, it was like gonna be Pac and somebody else, like an ode to them all in one. Tyrese, whatever, bitch, but my thing is, first of all, the picture that you were talking about with Young Jock was not a real picture. Second of all, it was old as hell. As much as you're on social media, I don't know how you didn't see that a long time ago. And Young Jock just kind of, came out, and he came out actually very kindly and kind of just said, Tyrese, I don't know what's wrong with you, dude. I don't know why you're coming for me, but basically kind of just in a really nice way, but we're just going to pray for you. Okay. That's all we can do. But he was cool about it. Hold up, what did you say? The Rock is the kind of guy a man can look up to and hope to be like. Tyrese, not so much. Yeah, exactly. I don't. Any man who tells me that he wants to be like Tyrese, I need him to exit stage left. No, you don't need to be around me. And so yeah, I guess this crying ass Negro is getting ready to come out with a hip hop album. I don't know who's checking for that. Let me know if you want to hear Tyrese's hip hop album. Excuse me, y'all. I gotta get a sip of water. I've been talking for a long time, and I'm just kind of, my throat is getting dry. So yeah, anybody want to hear Tyrese's album? Speaking of albums, just very briefly, Chris Brown. I saw some stuff on Twitter about his album. 45 songs, y'all. 45 songs. Kudos to him for making that album, because I know that took a long ass time. I don't even have the time to listen to 45 songs. I can't imagine what kind of effort it must have taken to go in the studio and like create 45 songs. So kudos to him. But Rido Boy, you said we already had Pac and Biggie. We don't need him to make a shit version of them. Exactly. Exactly. We do not need Tyrese's generic great value version of Tupac or Biggie or any damn body else. Rido Boy, you made a comment earlier about dark women not even being in rap videos anymore. So before I go on to the Papa John's and Pizza Hut topic, oh yeah, y'all, if y'all want to talk about something that I'm not talking about, just tell me. Before I go on to that, I do want to briefly talk about the stripper strike in New York City. Something that, hearing about it, when I first heard about it, I thought that it was a joke. It just seems unreal that strippers are going on strike. I mean, like they're in a workers union or something. So the deal is, and it's got a lot of levels to it too, and I don't know everything about it. Let's see, Chris Brown album gonna take me a good week to get through 10 songs a day. Yeah, you gotta like power through that album. Like you need some energy bars and Gatorade, you know what I'm saying? Like just to listen. But anyway, so the stripper strike. There are a lot of levels to it, but like Rido Boy, you mentioned how you don't even see dark-skinned women in music videos anymore, really. That's because of colorism. And it just seems like it's already like Black women in general are just kind of at the bottom when it comes to just getting respect in the media, getting coverage, getting promotion. But then to be a dark-skinned Black woman, like you get even less. You don't get noticed. You don't get, anything. So, okay, I thought that I heard something. So yeah, with the dark-skinned Black women, there's something going on now in New York where even in the stripping industry. Now, I thought that as strippers, that anybody, I don't care what you look like, anybody is good enough to be objectified by men, right? But apparently not in New York City. They're saying that basically dark-skinned strippers are like being shut out of the clubs. The club owners are saying that they want white strippers and Latina strippers, mixed girls, but like the black girls aren't really able to make money. And there's something going on with the strippers versus the bartenders. I guess like the bartenders are making more money and the strippers are angry because they're the ones like out there doing all the work. I mean, some of these girls, it's almost sad that they're strippers. Like they could be world-class gymnasts when you look at some of the stuff that they do. But like I think that what they're saying is like these strip clubs are hiring bartenders who have huge Instagram followings, and their followers are kind of coming in and giving them really good tips. And so it's just making it out that the bartenders are getting paid more than the strippers. And then the bartenders also look down on the strippers because they're strippers. But the bartenders are also dressed like the strippers. If you look at the strippers and the bartenders, you can't tell the difference between who is whom. So it seems like it should be like an easy enough problem to solve. Now, as far as between the strippers and the bartenders, now, as far as the colorism is concerned, I don't know how to solve that in strip industry, in the entertainment industry, in life in general. So I don't know what to say. There was some guy who I saw like talking about it on social media, and he was saying that he was, I don't know if he's a DJ or if he was a rapper himself, but he was at a New York City strip club and wanted this dark girl to come, a dark stripper to come into his VIP section. So he pulled her in, but the security guard would not let her in to his VIP section because she was dark. And so he basically had to tell the security guard, hey, you need to do your job. We want her in this section with us. You know, we think she's bad. We think she looks good. You know, let's shorty up here. And so it was just like, I'm like, wow, is it really so bad for dark-skinned women now that they can't even be used as sexual objects in strip clubs? I was joking with my fiance, like, are the strippers going to start running to college now because they can't make it in the strip clubs? It's just crazy how this colorism thing goes so deep with us. Let's see. I guess it doesn't make sense to me as a white guy that prefers dark-skinned women. It's hard to understand why men would like lighter. It's just how my mind works. Yeah, and you know, people are going to have their preferences, you know. And there were even a lot of black men saying that, hey, we don't even like going to the strip club anymore because we don't see any black women. So some black men, and one black guy in particular, I don't know who he was, but like he was getting into it with these girls, and he just looked like such a bitch himself. But he was like, you know, don't nobody want to see no black strippers. You know, we want to see Latin girls and Spanish. They say Spanish, and I hate when people call Spanish speaking people Spanish just because they speak Spanish. If you're not from Spain, you're not Spanish. Like, I hate it when people call Puerto Ricans and Dominicans and Cubans Spanish and Mexicans Spanish. Like, I hate when people say that. It just sounds so ignorant to me, and it like just grates on my eardrum when I hear people say that. So anyway, yeah, because the Spanish girls look better and they don't wear weaves and they hair not nappy and they bodies look better and they don't get all that plastic surgery. And so when people were checking him, they're like, okay, first of all the girls in the strip club wear wigs, and I don't care if it's black, white, Latino, whatever. And most of the girls in strip clubs all basically came back and was like, well, the Spanish girls' wigs are better, and you know, and the other girls, the Spanish girls, their plastic surgery is better. The black girls get bad plastic surgery. And so I'm like, my God, is there anywhere where a dark-skinned black woman can go and just be recognized and be beautiful and be seen as beautiful and safe or whatever. It's just crazy. The colorism in this country, in this world, is just crazy. I'm like, when a dark girl can't even make money stripping, something like we gotta look at, we're doing something wrong here, people. It's bad. Okay, so that's that. Thank you though for carrying me to that subject, right? Oh boy, let me see what these comments are. He said, it seems to me like black men need to do better in uplifting black women. You can really expect white men or others. You can't expect white men or others to do it for you. I agree, but that has to be what they want. And I think that even we as black women, we have to do a better job of doing that ourselves as well. Papa John's pizza. They were trending on Twitter yesterday because they were saying that that their sales are down because of the NFL protests. So basically, like, all these black players taking a knee is bringing their pizza sales down. And it was just really funny looking at the responses. People saying, okay, basically your pizza is like cardboard with tomato soup on top, but you want to blame the NFL because your sales are down. Like, no, maybe it's just that your pizza's not that good, and then other people were saying, well, maybe it's just because it's Nazi pizza and people don't want that. So anyway, so I thought that was odd. And oddly enough, I kind of like the taste of Papa John's pizza. I don't have anything against the taste, but I just stopped dealing with him a while ago because of his views on some other things. But like, really, dude, like, it just, like, does that even make sense to you when you listen to yourself say that out loud, that our pizza sales are down because of the NFL protests? Okay. But the funny thing was that I noticed probably about 3 hours ago when I was wrapping up some things for work, I looked and I saw that Pizza Hut was also trending on Twitter today. It was like the number 20 trending topic on Twitter today. And they were basically yeah, Papa John's, I don't know what's going on with you, but our sales are good over here. So maybe it's not the protest. Like, I think everybody else's sales are up in pizza. So maybe y'all need to tweak the recipe a little bit or do some specials or something, and it was just funny because people were like, okay, Domino's pizza sales were down. They decided to, revamp all their stores. Little Caesars sales were down, so they came up with the different hot and ready deals. Down, so they came up with new promotions. And Papa John's sales are down. They come up with, well, it's NFL's fault. Like, okay, if you say so. I don't know how you come to that conclusion, but hey. And okay, so really briefly, this wasn't this week. This was actually something that I would have talked about if I had gone on live. If I had gone on live last week, but Nicki Minaj's brother, Jelani Mirage, is what I believe his real name is. I don't know if y'all know, but I guess everybody knows by now. He's accused of sexually molesting his stepdaughter. And at the time, let's see, what did you say? Hold up. Hang on. Wait, let me get to these comments before I do that. So the protests to mess up the sponsors' money to get some kind of change. Papa John's crap anyway. Well, yeah, you know what? I guess, yeah. Good point. Good point. But I kind of still feel like people are still buying what they want to buy, because most people don't seem to really be putting much stock into the protest. So I don't know. But yeah, I won't be buying their pizza. But so back to Nicki Minaj's brother, Jelani Mirage. He was accused of sexually molesting his stepdaughter, who was 11 at the time. Nicki Minaj is said to have been paying for his legal defense, and so some people say, that means that she's supporting child molester. And I guess, monetarily she is. I don't know what she really feels about what her brother has or has not done. I will say allegedly, but it surely looks like he's guilty. His semen was found in the little girl's underwear, and I think that part of his defense team strategy is to try to say that it could have happened being mixed up in the laundry. But I believe that when it comes to this, the little girl's mother, I still question her too, because they say that this abuse started happening months after he got married to her. Now, Jelani got married to this woman. I guess that Nicki helped him out financially, but Jelani does not have a job. And she, the wife, goes to work. And so he's there, I guess, with her kids just, whenever. I guess during summers, he would be there with them, all day. And whenever they get home from school, he's there. I guess he probably sees the kids more than she does because she works full time. But the little boy said that what he saw, and when I said little boy, I'm saying that the little girl who was supposedly allegedly molested, or by Jelani, she was 11 at the time, and her little brother was 8. He says that he walked into the bedroom and saw Jelani on top of his sister with his pants down, and he just knew that what he saw wasn't right. And so he left, but Jelani threatened him that he wasn't going to see his mother again. I think he said if he said anything. Now, I've also heard it said that Jelani's wife said that shortly after a few months after they got married, that they stopped having sex. And I believe that some of these attacks on this little girl were happening at night. And so my thing is, if that is the way that it was happening, if he was like leaving their bedroom in the middle of the night to go into his stepdaughter's bedroom to molest her, shouldn't the mom have like caught on to something? And I'm not saying that the mom was in on it or whatever. I don't know. And I don't know, we don't know for sure that Jelani Mirage did molest this little girl. I don't know. But shouldn't the mother have kind of guessed something? If her husband is getting up, leaving her bed in the middle of the night, don't you hear something? Do you see changes in your daughter? Like, is she acting differently? And so to me, it's very disgusting that that Jelani's defense team wants to bring up accusation. Well, they want to bring up the little girl's sexual history. Now, I don't know if she truly has one or not, but if as an 11-year-old she was having sex with other people, they were probably 11 and 12-year-old boys, not grown-ass motherfucking men who were supposed to be taking care of her, who were supposed to be her protectors. And so there was that defense first, and then they came out with another defense basically saying that this family is just trying to extort money from Nicki Minaj, and that they wanted a $25 million payoff, and that's why they're saying that this is happening. So, okay, which is it? Is it that the little girl was sleeping around with a bunch of men, and so what, you thought you could get into, Jelani? Because still the fact remains that your semen was found in her underwear. Or is it just that that the family wanted some of Nicki Minaj's money? The family wanted $25 million from Nicki Minaj. Even if that's true, your semen was found in this 11-year-old girl's underwear. So I don't care even if they did try to extort money, maybe they were just saying, give us some money and we'll let this go away. That would not be right. But I still believe these children. I believe this little boy when he's saying that I walked in and I saw this man on top of my boy would just go making that up. And I don't believe that any little 11-year-old girl would go making that up either. You know, especially because his sister is Nicki Minaj with this man who's, you know, related to a superstar. That's probably kind of a fun thing for a kid to be able to say. But no, you know, we have to say allegedly because we don't truly know. But in my heart, I believe that this dude did molest this little girl. And if that's the case, I hope that he has to serve the rest of his life in prison. I don't believe that pedophiles ever really, I don't think that there's any rehabilitating pedophiles. I think that that's just like a truly cannot be helped. I don't think that they should ever be let out of prison. I think that if I were on a parole board, I would sooner let out a murderer before I would let out a pedophile, because 9 times out of 10, the murder thing was a one-time deal, or it was personal. It was, you know, somebody I saw and I was really passionate about, and I hated what they did to me, so I killed them or something. But with a pedophile, they're going to do it over and over and over. It's not going to stop. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. Let me see your comments. Right up, boys and pedophiles. Yeah, it is so sad. Yeah, I just think that they're the sickest type we do. I don't think that there's any rehabilitating a pedophile. I don't think there is. I think if you're guilty of being a pedo, you should go to jail. I agree. I 100% agree. I think you should go to jail. I think that you should stay in jail for the rest of your life. Yes, for life. We agree on that, right, oh boy? I 100% agree. Yes. Hazel E. Also, more proof that this whole colorism thing isn't going anywhere. Something else that I wanted to talk about last week. So I don't know if y'all watch any reality TV. I do watch Love and Hip Hop, and Hazel E. Was one of the people who was on Love and Hip Hop Hollywood, and she was actually somebody that I rooted for. Love and Hip Hop Hollywood, because she was the underdog and people would treat her so badly, and I always felt bad for her. You know, a girl who said that she was her friend took the guy who Hazel said was her man, but he never claimed Hazel. None of these guys on Love and Hip Hop have ever claimed Hazel, and that was another reason that I felt bad for her. Really want a rap career, and she seems to really persevere and try, even though nobody seems to be buying into her talent or whatever. And that was kind of another reason that, you know, I would root for her. I was pushing for her. But Hazel, she came out and said some things on social media. And this was after this last season that she was on, where she was just truly stunting and acting a total fool. I was still wanting to try to root for her, but, you know, she loves bragging about the money that she has, and, you know, all the work she has and all the deals she has, how she's got this, you know, best-selling book and shoe deal with, was it Shoe Dazzle? I can't remember the company she had the shoe deal with. But anyway, excuse me, I gotta take a sip of my water. Yeah, she's bragging about that. And anyway, I think that this is another kind of like a Tyrese type situation. I think that we watched Hazel E just unfold before our eyes on Love and Hip Hop. She, for whatever reason, decided to, I guess there had been like some long-standing Twitter beefs or whatever. And then after the reunion aired, this comedian, like a social media personality comedian named Just Hilarious, and Hazel E's boyfriend were into it. I don't know what they were even going back and forth over. I don't follow any of these people like that to truly like know their business like that. But Just Hilarious came out and said that Hazel E's boyfriend was gay, which is something that people have been saying basically since they've seen him on the first episode of the show. Then her boyfriend was saying that Just Hilarious been hitting up his DMs and trying to holler at him, and he turns her down because he's not interested in her. Hang on just a second. Let me see your comment. And though I think that if a guy is 18 that's in a relationship with a 17-year-old and didn't know, I was wrong. He should be put on a sex offender list, but no grown man should be having sex with a child for no reason. Okay, I do agree with that. And that's where I do think that I draw a line there, because to me, that's not being a pedophile. That's not being a child molester. That's two kids having sex. And in that case, you can't help it. You know, I'm 17, she's 16, and you know the statutory age here is 17. So I don't even think that they deserve to be put on a list in a case like that, or maybe for like 5 years or something, and then hopefully they can have it expunged off their record. But yeah, like in those types of cases, it's not like you're 17 messing with a 4-year-old. You're messing with, you know, you're 17 dealing with someone who's, you know, a year younger than you, and so that's different. That's a whole different thing to me. And so I don't think that those should be looked at the same at all. I don't even think you should necessarily that. If you do, it should be light, I think, for something like that. But yeah, I agree with you there. So yeah, Hazel gets into it with Jess, and she jumps in, and for whatever reason, her boyfriend, I guess he started going in on gay people and how he thinks that they all just need to burn in hell. And that's how I feel about gay people. So like, basically, don't be calling me gay because I think that they should burn in hell. And then Hazel goes off on a separate rant about all these dark butts and monkey butts and these black ass girls who are coming for her. Now, Hazel is biracial, apparently. I never knew what Hazel was. She's a very odd looking girl. When I first saw her, I thought that she might have been white. When I heard her talk for a few episodes, I thought that maybe she was black, but I guess I was kind of right on both cases. But she's a black girl. Well, she's biracial, and her mother is black and fair skinned, and I don't know what her looks like. So anyway, Hazel comes out with this whole rant saying that, you know, her mom, you know, told her to stay away, tried to keep her away from girls like this because she knew that they were going to be jealous of her because she's light skinned. She posts some pictures of girls from the Love and Hip Hop cast, all of whom are brown to dark. Like some of them like my complexion and a little bit darker. And basically in Hazel's head, she's saying she looks better than these girls because they're dark. But basically every girl that she posted a picture of, they are darker than she is, but they all also look better than she looks. And they all basically were able to pull the men that Hazel could not pull, and the men that never wanted to even admit that they were in the same room. All of these girls were able to get to it, you know, guys to admit on national TV that, yeah, this is my woman. So anyway, it just kind of goes back to that thing that there is a serious colorism issue here in this country. And it's sad when a girl thinks just because she's light, she's automatically pretty. There are pretty girls in every shade. There are ugly girls in every shade. There are some beautiful light-skinned women and biracial women. There are some ugly ones too. There are some who, let's be honest, look like these girls in. But if you look back at a lot of Hazel E's pictures before she ever got on Love and Hip Hop, Hazel was several shades darker than she is now. And frankly, I think that she actually was a pretty girl before she started messing with her face the way that she did. People would always tease her because her nose is large, but I think that her face looked perfect before she started messing around with it. I think that even her big nose fit with the rest of the features in her face. But yeah, being light automatically does not give you a pretty pass. That doesn't make you automatically pretty. Being dark does not automatically give you an ugly pass or make you ugly. Some people are pretty, some people are ugly. It doesn't, your skin tone does not determine whether you're pretty or you're ugly. And I just wish that more Black people knew that. I wish that we could stop discriminating against each other based on our skin tone. And even to speak of skin tone, she said, these girls were just jealous of her because they couldn't pass the brown paper bag test. If you don't know what that is a thing that like the brown paper sacks that people would use for their lunch in the 80s. I don't know if they still use brown paper sacks now, or if they've gone to something more modern or whatever. But basically about my skin tone. I don't have a brown paper bag right now, but if a Black person was the tone of a brown paper bag or lighter, then they were given admittance into certain places, given advantages. And it was a big thing with a lot of the sororities, the Black only sororities in the early 1900s. Fraternities too, but more so sororities. And Hazel E is a member of the sorority that was probably most notorious for using that practice. But again, that was like the 1920s, and they practiced that. They used that practice up until the 1960s pretty openly. Not just her sorority, I'm saying, but and I won't go into which sorority it is. It's not my sorority. I'm a Delta. But anyway, yeah. So I don't know how you get any sense of pride out of just saying I'm light or I'm lighter than the next girl. Like, you had nothing to do with your skin tone other than when you go and actually bleach yourself, or tan yourself. Your genes gave you that. That's nothing to brag about. It's just what you are. So I don't know. It's nothing to brag about. And on the same hand, it's nothing to put anyone else down about either. So it's just a weird look to me. The whole thing is strange. I can't believe some men think that if a girl is light skinned, she's automatically prettier. That sounds crazy too. It does. It sounds crazy, but it happens all the time. So, okay, quickly, Kathy Griffin. I don't know if y'all remember her Twitter stunt, I don't think it was a Twitter stunt. She took some photos, and where I saw them was on Twitter. With the whole Donald Trump severed head, where she was holding it up like this, and it was just very distasteful, and nobody seemed to be here for it. Not Democrats, not Republicans, not independents. Everybody just thought that was done in poor taste, and she got roasted. And she got Lisa Bloom to represent her, and she was complaining about getting death threats and people looking for her, whatever. And I don't even know what's happened with that case since then. But Kathy Griffin made a video on YouTube earlier this week saying that Lisa Bloom has been calling her, and Kathy doesn't want to talk to Lisa Bloom. I guess Kathy basically fired Lisa Bloom as her legal representation, but Lisa Bloom, who I also don't like, she did at least seem to handle the situation pretty professionally, and said that, Kathy, when we went to that press conference, I gave you a script. You decided to go off script and just talk about what you wanted to talk about. And so now you got all these people coming for you. And, I'm trying to scrap it and save it however I can, but there's really nothing that I can do. And so Kathy Griffin is basically still just sitting around crying and playing victim and not taking any responsibility on her part for creating this whole fiasco in the first place. Nobody would care. You would just be that ugly redheaded comedian who is not funny, and nobody would be saying anything about you if you hadn't decided that you thought that it would be a cool idea to sit up with a severed Trump head that looked very real on a photograph. That was just disgusting. I'm not a Trump supporter. I'm not a Hillary Clinton supporter either. So, by the way, I think that this whole stuff that's going on with Dawn in Brazil today is hilarious, but I won't even get into that. Very briefly, I'm going to talk on this, and then I'll shut down probably for the night. USA, the USA Network has a show that's getting ready to start called Damnation, and I am going to review that show for my YouTube channel like I reviewed Underground. I haven't had a show to review since Underground went off because I'm just not into a show like that. I don't fully understand everything that Damnation is going to be about, but for me, just the look of it, it looks like it's kind of going to fill that Underground void for me. And so I'm excited to see what it's really going to be about. I followed them on Twitter, and Poetry, I don't know if you're going to watch this video, but My Twisted Life with Poetry, she's another YouTube channel, so follow her if you don't already follow her. She does a lot of show reviews and just, you know, general talk about what's going on in the world, but Twitter as well, and she was on the Damnation show's Twitter, and she tagged me, she added me, and she was like, "Hey, Taiwan, is this the show you're talking about?" And I was like, "Yes, it is." And then they sent her an inbox message, and she let me know that they inboxed her. And once she told me that, I was like, "Oh, well, I better go in comments and stuff too." And so I did. Went and made a comment on their most recent post, just saying that I was excited for the show to start. And I got an inbox message into my Twitter account, a private message on Twitter from the show saying that they were, you know, excited that I was a fan of the show and wanted to send me a gift basically for being a fan of the show. I let them know that I'm planning on reviewing the show for my YouTube channel, and they said that whatever they're going to send me, that they would like for me to wear it or to show it in my videos, and to add them and tag them on Twitter, and to let everyone know that what I have is a gift from the USA Network. So I'm excited to be reviewing that show. And Poetry, you're excited to be reviewing that show too, because you're going to review that show. We were kind of debating on whether or not she should, and she should, because they contacted her as well. Hey, could you link her channel? Let's see, hold up. Hold up. I want to get all your comments in here. Me and knowing, oh wait, I can't believe some men think that, oh, okay, if a girl is light skinned, she's automatically prettier. That sounds crazy to me. Knowing that it's not true makes it even more crazy than if I was ignorant to the truth. I feel you there. And I in no way think Trump is a great person, but the people saying he's Hitler 2.0 are crazy. Okay, I will link her channel. I'm going to link My Twisted Life with Poetry's channel after this goes up. It's just a regular video in my feed. I'll be sure to do that. Thank you so much, Rido Boy. I'll do that. But yeah, so she's going to review it. I need you to review that show. Okay, we're going to review that. And I'm hoping that TW23 does as well. So I will, you know what, I will also link a trailer to the show too, and y'all let me know if y'all are interested in that. And I will go on and also put my social media feeds. Twitter is the only thing that I'm really using here lately, so I'll be sure to put my Twitter. I haven't been on Facebook in ages, and I haven't been on Instagram in several months, but I've been on Twitter, so I'll definitely put my Twitter. So, you know, if y'all are on Twitter, let's follow each other, and just let me know you're from here. And Cardi B, I don't know if y'all want to talk about her. I will kind of need for y'all to take the lead on this if we talk about her. I know that she got engaged to, his name is Offset from a group called Migos. I don't know who the hell he is, but if you know, then share with me, because I really don't follow a lot of current rap music. Yeah, so she got engaged. So congratulations to her. I only really know her from Love and Hip Hop. It's so funny because before she came on Love and Hip Hop, everybody was like, yay, Cardi B is going to be on there. I'm like, how do y'all know her? Who is Cardi B? But people work, and she used to have like some really messed up, I think her bottom teeth, was it her bottom teeth or her top teeth? I can't remember, but one of those rows was really, really messed up. But she got all of her teeth redone since she's, made her money from Love and Hip Hop and parlayed it into a real, genuine rap career. So, anyway, if you got any more info on her, let me know, and I'll do that. Oh, thank you. This was a great chat. Thank you, Rhino Boy. You were here with me the whole time. If y'all want to talk any reality TV, let me know that. The only shows that I really watch, and the only reason that I'm asking is because the shows that I watch are coming back. Love and Hip Hop, even though it's trash, I will watch that. It's just a like way for me to kind of clear my mind. I don't take any of it very seriously at all, and it's very staged, but it's funny, so I will watch that. Real Housewives of Atlanta and Married to Medicine are coming back. If there is some reality shows that you watch that you think are great that I should get into, let me know that. And if y'all want to just like kind of do reality show talk, then let me know that too. Lastly, before I sign off, Kendu Isaacs, Mary J. Blige's, I don't know if they're already divorced or if he is her soon-to-be ex-husband, but I know that he was awarded $33,000 a month. He was asking for over $100,000 a month in spousal support. And I have another video that I did on that. I will link that video. I have his original request and my thoughts on that, which I think he's sorry as hell for asking for his wife for all of that stuff. He was asking her to pay child support on children that he had before the marriage that are not hers. And I mean, just a lot of ridiculous stuff. Some money for a trainer when he's fat as hell, and it's very clear he hasn't been doing training while he's been with her. He was asking for just a bunch of ridiculous stuff. Money to fix up properties that he has. He wanted her supporting his parents. Just a bunch of stuff. Like, how do you even feel like a man asking this of your ex-wife? Now, I know that she was the breadwinner, so I do believe that he deserves something. I will say that. But I think that even the judge awarding him $33,000, to me, that seems excessive, but he's saying that it's not enough. He is saying, let's see, hold up, I got to see what your comment. Amigos, but Cardi B seems like an okay person. Okay, I don't know their music at all. So if there's like even one song you can recommend for me to listen to so that I can get a taste of who they are, then I'll listen to that. Yeah, Cardi B seems okay. She problematic at times about some things, but she does seem like an okay person. And this is clearly her season. This is clearly her year. That just can't be denied. So Kendu, he has been awarded $33,000 a month. Mary J. Blige, has been very, very clear and direct in the music that she's made since their split, and saying that, she doesn't like him anymore. She made a song about him taking his bitches on trips while she was working and yada, yada, yada. So he's saying because of the kind of music that Mary's making and because of how she's talking about the divorce, that he's not able to make money anymore. So he's going to need to have his only $33,000 a month, this little measly $33,000 a month. He needs that raised now to $65,000 a month. He said that he is like just tucked away in his apartment in Los Angeles and he can't go out and get work because Mary is ruining his name everywhere. $33,000 a month, y'all. Now, even in LA, you can live well on $33,000 a month, but you don't have to stay in LA. You can go and move to a city that's still in California and still do very well with $33,000 a month, but it's not enough for him. So I think that the judge has already thrown that out, and I hope so. My hope was that when this got taken to court, that the judge would hear it and say, you know what, I'm going to cut it down to $15,000 a month, and you figure out what you need to do there. Because I don't think this dude is even going to try to get off of his fat, lazy ass and do anything as long as he has Mary's money coming in. He's a disgusting individual. I think he's trying to figure out how he can live on Mary's money. But people calling himself a man, if that's his plan, it's disgusting to me. And I hope that he does not get not one dime more. I see some people coming in, hey, how are y'all doing? But it's sick to me. It's like, dude, I hope that with some of that money that you get, that you go and buy a penis and a pair of testicles. You know, like, you are not a man sitting up here asking this for this money from this woman, and you cheated on her. Like, the reason that you're divorced is it's your fault. You know, think twice when your woman is your meal ticket. Don't go and cheat on her. You know, how about that, Kendu? I don't know, like, y'all. Disgusting. And I will link my original video about Kendu under this after this goes into my regular videos. But yeah, he must be out of his damn mind. I don't know what to say about him. I don't know what to say. I see some people in here. Let me see. Okay. Bad and Bougie is their biggest song. I can't stand them, to be honest. Oh, okay. I hear that song title all the time, but I've never heard the song. Okay, I'm going to look it up. Yeah, he's not a man. He's not a man to me either. You know, and I don't know how Mary stayed in that for as long as she did. And he's not even good looking. Like, I really don't know. And I don't know what he did. Did he do anything to elevate her career? I wonder, because they were together for a while. So maybe at some point he did do something good for her. But man, it just seems like he was just there to use her and get out. And I hate that for her, because she really did seem very much in love when they got together. And I was happy for her because she was happy. I didn't think he looked like much of anything, but looks aren't everything. But like, my God, when you don't have looks, like, bring everything else to the table, please. Like, and when you do have looks, I don't care. Bring it all to the table for your mate. If you want to put a ring on it and you know, you're willing to take that vow of marriage, then be your best person for that person. Don't come in there to use somebody. You know, I think that's so whack. I'm glad that she doesn't have to deal with him anymore. I'm glad that she realizes it for what it is. I hope that she's able to take some time to herself and get herself together. You know, I would hate to see her kind of just jump into another relationship just for the sake of being in a relationship. I would like to see her pour her heart out into some good music, make some good breakup songs for us, Mary, you know, and make your money and get rid of this dude, you know, for once and for all. And his trifling ass daughter, who's talking about how she hasn't heard from Mary since they split up. Girl, call your mother and leave Mary J. Blige alone. If she doesn't want to talk to her dad, to your dad, she doesn't want to talk to you either, probably. Give her some space, you know? My goodness. Is there anything that y'all want to talk about that I have not talked about? Because I've been on here for a while, but or anything you want to go back over? I'm reading the comments. So, yeah. Because this is my first time going live on my computer and not being being on the screen. So I'm just looking at myself on the screen basically, and I'm looking at y'all's chat comments on my phone. So anything else? Anything else? If not, I'm just going to say good night, and maybe I'll start it a little bit later. Again, thank you to everybody who viewed. Thank you to everybody who subscribes to my channel. Thank you for hanging in here with me. Who I saw Mirror Cop Films, and of course Rido Boy. hung in here with me for the whole time, and whoever came and watched and didn't make any comments, and whoever's in here now and not commenting, thank you. I appreciate you. Hit the thumbs up for me if you don't mind, and I'll be sure to put every link that I said that I was going to put. I'll go back through my notes on this video, and I'll put those links. I will link My Twisted Life with Poetry. I'll link her channel. I'll put a link to my original video about Kendu Isaac's Sorry As and the money that he wanted to get from Mary J. Blige, which I am glad at least that the judge did not grant him that $100,000 that he was asking for. It was either $110,000 or $130,000 a month that he was asking for originally. And you know what? Like I said, I wish that the judge would have cut what he has into half. I had something like that happen to a person that I know. A girl who I was once, I was trying to develop a friendship with her. She dated a guy who played for the Patriots. They were in college together in Houston. I'm not going to say her name. I'm not going to say his name. But I met him through her. He was a serious, he had a serious career in the NFL, and she had a child. She had a daughter from him. And she had a pretty substantial amount of money coming in for child support, but she was always asking for more. And he would like throw extra tens of thousands of dollars at a time whenever he had like a signing bonus or, anytime he got a lump sum of money, it was nothing for him to throw $50,000, $100,000 her way. And, getting over $20,000 a month in child support for their one child. He has 4 or 5 other children. I think 4 other children. And so on this one particular occasion when she was feeling really greedy, because she had another guy that she was dating that she was trying to buy a luxury car for, she went in to have her child support readjusted. And anytime she asked for more money, she was always granted it. And he never fought her on it either. But on this particular occasion, he needed to fight because now there were more children. And she ended up going in there with more than $20,000 a month, asking for, I think, like an extra $10,000 a month, and coming out with $5,000 a month in child support. And so the sad thing is that's still not a bad amount of money for child support. When, if you think about it, probably if you know anyone personally, the money that they're getting for child support. Did you talk about Tyrese? I did, but I can't again. Didiga? Tell me how I'm supposed to pronounce your name, please, so I can say this right. Tyrese, that is funny. Yes, and I was imitating him crying and everything, but we can go back and talk about his bitch ass because there's so much material with Tyrese to talk about. But yeah, what I was saying, tell me how to pronounce your name, please, so I can say this right. It looks like Didiga. It doesn't feel right when I say that. Tell me how I need to say your name. You have a good night too, right away. Thanks for riding with me. Okay, no, you're spelling it, but I need a phonetic. I need a phonetic pronunciation, unless I'm saying it right. It looks like Didiga. Diga? Tell me how I need to say that. But yeah, so I was just talking about Tyrese. I was talking about Tyrese acting a fool on social media because that's pretty much all that he's been doing. Didi. Okay, Didi. And what about the GA? How does that go? Okay, so yeah, all he's been doing is acting, several months on social media. As far as I know, he's not doing any work other than, now the one thing that I did mention, that he was at some singing gig, begging, crying about his daughter and wanting people to feel sorry for him because he's not able to see his daughter because he's been accused of beating her ass too hard. But he got on that stage and dedicated Marvin Gaye's "Let's Get It On" to his daughter, Didi in think. Okay. Yeah, that's right. Didi. Okay. I'm gonna just call you Didi then. Didi. Yeah, I talked about that, fool. If you have anything to comment, please comment it, and so we can discuss. But yeah, did you see him singing "Let's Get It On" to his daughter? That was one thing that creeped the hell out of me. He was on stage and just, oh y'all, I really miss my baby. I just want to dedicate this to my baby girl. And I mean, I didn't know what song he was gonna sing, but he bust out, and I've been really trying, baby. And I was like, trying to remember what song it was. I knew that it wouldn't have been appropriate. I was like, okay, is that sexual healing? Or I was like, let's get it on. Why is he singing that to his child? That's so nasty. And so it's like, okay. So I believe that he has some mental things going on. I believe that he needs to put his telephone down completely and get off of social media and get to the nearest psych ward or mental clinic and get some help. And I think that if this woman who he loves calling his black queen is really in his corner, she needs to tell her husband, baby, get off of social media. We need to cancel your social media accounts. And I need you to come with me. We need to get in counseling, for you. If she needs to make it couples counseling to make him want to go, then whatever needs to be done, that's what she needs to be doing. But, I saw his stupid ass crying on social media was he doing an Instagram live video? Was it yesterday? And I did not care. I did not care. I truly believe that he is going through something, but I truly do not care. I think that anything that he's going through is something that he has is because of a position that he's put himself in, and figure out how to get out of it. He's needs to get off of The Rock's dick and stop worrying about the money that he's making, and stop trying to tell him to stop doing his movie projects. Why does The Rock need to not make money just because nobody wants Tyrese in anything? No. Let me see. I saw the bad acting video where he crying about his little girl on The Rock. Yeah, that's what I saw too. Tyrese. I'm still laughing about that. But yeah, I saw a lot of, black men on social media kind of in his corner, and, oh, Tyrese, some black men said that black women are evil because, because he pays $13,000 a month in child support. So some man said that black women are evil because of her collecting child support on their child. Sadly, it seems in the black community that mental health is not dealt with as much. You know what? I don't think that we really truly deal with mental health in the black community, not the way that we should. We don't take it seriously. It's like our cure for everything is just to go and pray about it, take it to Jesus, and all this, and that's not always the answer. Sometimes you truly need some real mental help, and we don't like to admit that we have mental problems going on. We don't want to admit that we might be suffering from clinical depression or anxiety or something. We kind of joke and label it, oh, those are white people diseases. Black people don't have that. But yeah, people go through, and he looks like he's got some real issues. Sis, he crazy. he is. He has some real deal mental issues. Let me see. I'm going back looking at my notes. So yeah, I'll go over what I said. Let's see. Hold up. Let me see. Though even the white community, let me see what he's saying, is not dealt with enough. That's true. Nobody deals with mental issues the way they need to, but black people, we really truly do tend to sweep it under the rug and act like it's not an issue at all. He just don't want to pay $13,000 a month. And see, that's what I think. I really, truly am kind of wondering what his financial situation is. Because for him to be getting on social media as often as he is, bitching about the money that The Rock is making, and that the money that The Rock is stopping him from making by not doing this Fast and Furious movie and doing his spinoff instead. That makes me feel like Tyrese's money is looking funny. I don't know what he spent on his wedding, but and I don't know what his spending is in general. I remember he used to like always put hashtag private school on everything. If your daughter that you're allegedly beating is in private school, maybe you need to put her little ass in public school so you can pay some bills, Tyrese. I don't know. I mean, you shouldn't be broke like the average person walking around. Like, hopefully if you're broke, you're rich people broke, and you can just make some adjustments and lower your lifestyle, you know, but that this fool should be broke. No, he's not The Rock. He's not making The Rock money, but he should have a couple of million stashed away if he's been doing anything close to what he should be doing with the money that he's been making. Let me see. Don't hate the player, hate the game is what I say to the men saying black women are evil. I agree, you know, and it's not like it's only black women who get child support. So I'm like, I just thought that was a really strange thing to say. They say he has a Starbucks in his backyard. I've heard that too. I've heard like some really ridiculous shit about like what he has. And it's like, you know, Tyrese, you're rich, but you're not like Aaron Spelling rich. So like, you know, maybe you just did too much too fast, you know, and maybe you got too fast, too furious with your spending. And now you need to like scale back, my G, you know, like I don't know what to say, but he's crying like he's broke, and that black woman, his black queen, who's not really black, she's not gonna play those games. If she married Tyrese for his money, then she's gonna be like, Negro, you need to get out here and make something, or I'm gonna be gone. My multiracial ass is going to be gone. She's not gonna stick by him the way that probably child would, you know, the way that they like to have their come up woman, that black woman who always sticks with them until they get on somewhere, like Kanye said, when he get on, he leave your ass for a white girl. They have that you know, rock of a woman who's with them when they're in the struggle. But no, Tyrese, like you've made it to a certain level now. They're going to expect, you know, that woman expects you to be bringing home the bacon, my friend. So you better stop crying, get your ass off of Instagram making these videos, and go see if somebody will put your ass in a music video somewhere or something, because that girl's not trying to hear that. She wants you to bring home that money, you know? What are we saying about that fool? Let me go through these notes, y'all. Okay, so yeah, he say he will not be in the next Fast and Furious if The Rock is in it. I know, you know, everybody was just laughing their asses off about that. All those memes and gifs on Twitter just had me rolling. Like, Tyrese, who cares? You know, if you go, because from what I could see, his role was like a supporting character type of role anyway. I don't know one person on the planet who's going to say, well, if Tyrese isn't in it, I'm not going to see Fast and Furious. You know, said nobody. Okay. It does seem like since Paul Walker died, Tyrese has went off the rails. I don't know if that has something to do with it or not. LOL. I'm not even gonna sit up here and try to analyze why this Negro has gone crazy the way that he has. I mean, because I imagine that Tyrese was no closer to Paul Walker than anybody else on that cast. It's not like he lost, you know, a blood relative or something, even though Tyrese's stupid ass keeps calling them family, the Fast and Furious family, and saying that The Rock is breaking up family. Negro, I need you to get it through your head that these are your co-workers. These are not your family members, okay? It's a job. It's work. So if you can get some other work, then you should do that, because that's what everybody else is doing. You need to go look out for yourself the best way that you can. I don't know, like, what's up with this dude. So yeah, he's been ordered to stay away from his little daughter because he was accused of beating her, hitting her too hard, hitting her so hard that she couldn't sit down. And one thing that I was saying, Dee, was that the mother of his daughter has, made claims in the past that Tyrese used to beat on her. So I find it believable that he probably could have been, beating on his daughter. And so he's supposed to stay away, and there's a restraining order. But of course, this fool decides to go and fly a plane over her school, like with the banner saying that daddy loves you or some shit like that. And I believe he had some gifts sent to her school too. And, some people are saying he's just doing it because he loves his daughter. Some people think that, he's trying to influence what she'll say when they have to go back to court, because she's going to have to tell, I guess, the judge or a mediator, whoever's listening, what her daddy did. And so maybe he's trying to, make his daughter not want to speak against him. I don't know. He did say he was close with Paul, but I'm not sure how true that is. Yeah, I don't know how true anything that Tyrese says is. He has some issues. Tyrese has some real deal issues. What else about this fool? Let me see. Yeah, because we did talk about it. Okay, yeah, but let's get it on. And yeah, okay, so other than that, yeah, it was just him doing more of the same whole crying like a bitch on Instagram. And I guess wanting sympathy. And a lot of black men were giving him sympathy, but and to my surprise, well, and I shouldn't be that surprised, but a lot of black women were too. To me, that surprised me because Tyrese has been talking mad shit about black women for quite some time now. But it was still even black women saying, oh, y'all gonna come down on this man just because he's sad, because he want to see his daughter. I don't give a okay about him wanting to see his daughter or whatever. If that was your top priority, then if you were abusing her, then you shouldn't have done it. If you're not abusing her, then you need to just be obeying whatever these court orders are until it's time for you to go to court and say whatever you need to say so that you can get her back in your custody. But everything that you are going through, I truly believe, Tyrese, you have brought it on yourself. And I don't have not a one tear to shed. These eyes are dry. I don't care about anything that's going on with Tyrese. I don't. I mean, I don't care about him being sad. I care about what's going on with him to the extent that it gives me something to talk about in this video. But no, I don't care. Well, I guess Tyrese won't be in the next one because The Rock ain't getting thrown out. Yeah, The Rock's not getting thrown out. Now, The Rock might decide himself to be out, but that's the only way that he's leaving, because there's no way in hell that anybody in their right mind is going to say, well, Rock, The Rock, whatever his name is. What is his name? We really need Tyrese in this sequel in Fast and Furious number 211. So we're going to have to let you go. Like, do y'all really think that's going to happen? No, that's not what's going to happen. So Tyrese can give that up. Like, sir, nobody's going to choose you, Tyrese, over The Rock. I'm sorry. No, not happening. Okay. So yeah, that was pretty much it. Oh, and then we talked about him, Didi. We talked about The Rock, not The Rock. We talked about Tyrese and his new album he's saying he's doing after he came out dissing that old fake picture of Young Jock, saying, what, basically asking like what's happened to the rap game, like the rappers nowadays are so feminine, that's why he's coming out with a hardcore rap album. Tyrese is saying he's coming out with a hardcore rap album that's going to be like an ode to Tupac and Jay-Z and Biggie all in one, whatever. He like named some of the hardest core rappers, and Rhino Boy basically said we don't need a cheap imitation of the greats. Like, they've already done it. We don't need you touching their stuff. Dwayne Johnson, thank you. I cannot think of his name for anything. Rhino Boy. So yeah, Tyrese coming out saying he's gonna do this rap album now because basically like the game needs him because these dudes are too soft now. And it was like, okay, first of all, the picture of Jock wasn't real. That's not his actual hairstyle. But okay, if girl, whatever you got to do, you need to make that money. So go on and get in the studio. I don't know who the hell is going to be buying that shit. I don't see myself lining up outside of anybody's record store. I don't see myself waking up to log on to iTunes to go and buy Tyrese's rap album. I just don't see it. So yeah, that's pretty much all that we talked about with him. I talked about how he's claiming, that The Rock is just such an egomaniac, but that's what everybody said about him when he was in that group TGT. Tyrese, Genuine, and Tank. Genuine and Tank were saying that Tyrese was ridiculous to work with, and was saying that he was acting like everybody wanted to just come to the shows to see Tyrese, that nobody was there to see Tank or Genuine. And that's the reason the group broke up. So what he did with TGT is what he's accusing The Rock of doing to Fast and Furious. Only the Fast and Furious franchise is not breaking up. They're on a delay so that The Rock can release his movie. That album would not work. Now, that's what I was saying, Dee. After they seen this fool crying, don't nobody want to see no crying ass rapper? Like, no. Your daughter won't even be buying that album, Tyrese. No. I don't know who the hell is checking for a Tyrese rap album. I don't want to hear anything he has. I don't even want to hear him sing. And he has a decent enough singing voice, but I'm not trying to hear shit from Tyrese. I don't want to hear a rap album. I don't want to hear a R&B album. I don't want to hear a country album. I don't want to hear another Instagram live post. I'm like, I don't want to hear shit from Tyrese. Okay, I'm good. I tried listening to one of his albums. I got 2 songs in and had to call it quits. And yeah, I don't know if y'all saw. The Rock was making fun of his. Hold on, I gotta charge this phone. The Rock was making fun of Tyrese's songs. I don't know what he was listening to, but yeah, The Rock was like out and listening to one of his albums, and he said that it sounded like dog shit. And I know that had to hurt Tyrese's little feminine feelings, but yeah, I don't want to hear that. I don't know anybody who's trying to. I don't want to hear anything he has to say. And I don't know who's trying to hear, who in 2017 is trying to hear a crying ass rapper. Good luck, Tyrese. I mean, that's the best I can say. Tank and Genuine are way better than him. Now, I'll be honest, I did not know who Tank was until that New Edition movie came out, and I still haven't heard any of Tank's music. I hear a lot of people say that they love Tank's music, but I've never heard it. Genuine, I'm quite familiar with, and I've always thought that he was a good singer, a good performer. But I still haven't listened to any of Tank's music. I thought that he did a good job acting in that New Edition movie. Tank asked for a Rolling Rock movie. Yeah, Tank was being shady. Yeah, Tank was just being shady that day. I thought that was funny. And I know that must have really burned up Tyrese when Tank asked The Rock for a role in his movie. And Tank looked like he was just like having a fangirl experience when The Rock like replied to him. But shit, I would too. So would my fiance. But I thought that was funny. Yeah, Tyrese is just making a fool of himself. I do believe something is really, truly, truly wrong. And I truly, truly, truly don't give a fuck. I don't care. A good dude too. Yeah, I don't know anything about him. the only thing I kind of remember hearing about him maybe earlier this year was that he went and performed at a gay pride event, or maybe it was a gay nightclub. And, so people were trying to come out and say, well, he must be gay too or whatever. But shit, if those gay people paid their money for a ticket and they want to see a performance, you're going to give them a performance. And I think that's good. I think that, to me, that kind of speaks volumes about him being secure in his masculinity to go and perform. If that doesn't mean you're gay just because you're performing for gay people. So maybe he is a good guy. I hope so. Yeah. I don't know. I don't hear much about him. Other than I hear a lot of women say that they like his going to his concerts. So I don't know. Anything else y'all want to talk about? If y'all want to talk about something, I'll talk. Otherwise, I'm gonna just get a sip of my water. Are y'all good? Well, I appreciate y'all for hanging out with me, Rido Boy, and Dee Dee, and Mirror Cop Films. Those are the only commenters I remember seeing, but I appreciate everybody for hanging out. I'll try to, I guess, do it maybe a little bit later because typically it does seem like more people come in when I go around 10 o'clock on Thursdays. So, cool. Well, I appreciate y'all. And if y'all have YouTube channels, check each other out, subscribe to each other, subscribe to me. If you have a channel, let me know and I'll subscribe back. And let's just hang out again next Thursday sometime. Again, I'll try to make it later. Hopefully we'll have some more people, but I appreciate y'all just for coming in and kicking it with me. And if y'all have topics y'all want me to talk about, then like I said, I will for sure link my Twitter and maybe even an email address. And if it's something you want me to talk about, just let me know and we'll do that. Y'all have a good night. And I'll see y'all next Thursday. Thanks for hanging out. Okay, I see y'all still here. So I'm just going to end it. I'm going to hit the stop broadcast button right now. Good night, y'all.